Yeah, like I was saying, they were plastering and stuff like that. So they had their own little business. So basically, my granddaddy been by them having their own business, they would like hire their daughters and sons to work for him. So that's what my granddaddy did. He hired my mom. My mom would go to work being a plasterer every day, like putting plaster on, the walls that had holes on it. They would, seal it up and repaint it. They did odd jobs like that to get paid. And I was so young. So, my mom went to work every day. I started going to preschool. So, she would wake up. She would wake up, you know what I mean, and try to comb my hair. My hair has always been curly, so, it was so, like, it get tangled easy, and I was so tender-headed. So she had to wake up every morning and comb my hair. I would cry and scream dramatically, like, oh my God, this is killing me, you know what I mean? So this was our daily thing, we'd wake up, I'd go to, preschool, whatever. My granddaddy would wake up, take us all to school. Then he would pack up, my mom and his kids that he had through the stepmother. They'll all pack up and get in the truck, go to work. They'll come get us from school. We'll come back home. I take my shower. My mom make me some noodles. I swear this was the best meal ever. My mom would always make me like noodles. But I love noodles for some reason. That's why I always thought I was Mexican. Because I would eat noodles all the time. You know what I mean? Like just all the time. And, I liked them for some reason, but she would make me other meals too. Like, she wasn't like my auntie. She would make me different food, like macaroni and cheese and chicken and cornbread and collard greens, you know what I mean? And then I always remember at nighttime, like, I could stay up and watch TV, like, and she always tell me, when you get sleepy, you come in here and you get in the bed. So when I get sleepy at night, after I watch however much TV I wanted to, I go and get in the bed with her. And it never failed. I would always sleep on her arm. That one arm, I would just always lay on it and sleep. You know what I mean? I would always sleep on her arm. And so that was pretty much our daily routine. We started, as I got older, I think I just started getting bad a little bit in that year she had me. Because when I would do bad stuff, like, I would get whoopings, like, real bad. Like, my mom, like, would literally pick me up upside down, holding me with one leg and whoop my ass real bad. And in Atlanta, they don't have them little switches that break. They got them Peachtree switches that you can braid up, or they be made out of some kind of flimsy kind of, material or something that they don't really ever break. When they wrap around you, they wrap around you. Sometimes, being the southern way, they learn how to dip it in water and then beat your ass with it. So my mom would hold me upside down one leg and beat my ass. Like, them switches won't ever break. I used to always cry before the switch even touched me. She'd be like, go outside and pick you a switch. I'll go out and get the littlest twig I ever found. She'll go out there and get the biggest one because I got the littlest one. You know what I mean? Like, I would get whoopings like that. I hated getting whoopings like that, man. It was the worst, man. Like, it was the worst, them whoopings. I also remember one day I was just in the tub and she had changed the bathroom. And, she had painted the bathroom. I thought it was so nice. She had painted the bathroom one day. And, take her hand and dip it in the paint and just decorate the walls with handprints and alphabets and numbers to teach me my ABCs and stuff. And I was smart as heck. I learned it. I caught on to it. At a young age, I knew my alphabets. At like 4, I had it down pat, So, I don't know. I could just remember pieces and puzzles of things I did or good times we had. I remember one time I did something and my punishment was to wash out our clothes on hand in the tub. Now, mind you, I know I'm little. I had to wash my clothes out. But my mom, she's pretty big, so I got to wash these huge pans on my hands. And then I had to go and hang them up. Because we didn't have no washer and dryer. So I would go and wash the clothes. And there was this clothing line outside of our house. And I would have to go and step up on a stool and try to put these clothes on a clothing line with those little clothing pins. So I remember that incident. Another incident I remember is one time we was going to the store. And my mom, she said, I got 50 cents for you and I got $1 for myself. She was like, pick whatever you want to get wisely. So I wanted some chips so bad. I wanted some hot chips so bad. I bought this bag of hot chips. She said, "Mom, you know this hot." And at the time my mom was a drinker. She would drink. I didn't know if she was still doing drugs or not, but at the time she would like drink, like beers or something here and there. So she had got herself a beer, and mind you, I got these hot chips, and I get to eating the chips, and the chips are incredibly hot. Like, I'm so young, I ain't ever really had no chips my whole life. So these things are burning my throat. I'm like, oh my God, Mom, I'm thirsty, I'm thirsty, I'm thirsty. And she said, I told your ass not to get them hot chips. So guess what she did? Gave me some beer. Because I was so thirsty and she didn't have no money to buy nothing to drink. She gave me some beer. Shaking my head. Then one day, I we went to the store again, and she had bought me a sandwich, and I don't know what kind of meat it was made out of, but the meat was so nasty. Like, I mean, this meat tasted like tofu meat or something. Like, it was terribly, it tasted terrible. So she said, whatever you get from this store, you gonna eat on it until you eat it all up and it's gone. So, it tasted so nasty, I really didn't want it. And she was like, well, you gonna eat this burger or you ain't gonna eat nothing else. Because I don't have no money to waste, which all black mothers would say. So, one day I had went to my aunt's house because my mom had to go to work and my aunt was babysitting me. And my aunt was like, you got something to eat at your house? And I was like, yeah, but my mom said I had to eat this sandwich, until it was gone. So she was like, go to your mom's house and get the sandwich out the refrigerator, and that's what you're gonna eat. So I dreaded going to get it, but I went and got it. Now, mind you, my mom said, do not touch the refrigerator. Whatever you do not go on my refrigerator. Do not, she always told me, you are not allowed to go on the refrigerator. But I'm figuring, my auntie said to go get it, so I went and got it. So my mom got off of work, and, my auntie ended up telling her that I went and got the sandwich out or whatever. And my mom said, my auntie was like, my mom said, I told your ass not to go in the refrigerator. You ain't allowed in the refrigerator. And my auntie said, well, I told her she can go and get it. And my mom said, and my mom was like, I'm going to beat your ass when we get home because I told you not to go in the refrigerator. And my auntie was like, don't whoop her. And I went home, I got the ass whooping of my lifetime, man, for that shit, man. I was so mad. And then I don't know why, but I don't know if I was younger from, like, being in foster homes and from house to house and foster parents chastising me, from relatives chastising me. I always had a nervous streak. Like, I would always bite my nails. But instead of it being my nails, I would bite the skin from around my fingers till they would bleed or you could see the scabs. Like, I would bite all the skin from around my whole finger. And to nip it in the bud, my mom didn't understand why I would do that. But I think I was just so nervous and scared. Like, I was going to always get a whooping because it seemed like I was always getting whoopings by people. Like, so to nip it in the bud, she started dipping my fingers in hot sauce. And I could just, while I'm telling this story, I could remember her just dipping it in there. And I used to be crying because it hurted so bad because, my white meat would show. So to dip it in there, but it nipped the habit, though. Because I couldn't stand that hot sauce habit. I couldn't stand her dipping me in there. I don't know what it was, but it was a few times where my mom, like, I didn't have to go to school on a weekend, and she would be doing some work around the mansions, like painting jobs or whatever. And when I wake up, she wouldn't be there. And I don't know if I was just young and I was like without air, but I remember I would wake up and scream for her and look around the house and she wasn't there, and I would just cry. And I would scream her name like, Mom, like, I don't know, I would lose my air and I would still be screaming her name, but wouldn't nothing come out. I remember that. I would do that, and then I would run outside, and then I would find her around the bend. And I remember, like, in Atlanta, they would always have these little red hot ants and these ant piles, and you should not step in them because when you do, the ants will crawl all up on you and they would just eat you to death. Like, I mean to death, My mom would always say, Because she'll be outside working, she'll point at the ant piles, and she'll say, don't you mess with those ant piles. Don't never step on those ant piles. Those ants are going to get you. And so, you know, I remember that. Keep that in mind, you know, so, so my mom, she would let me play outside sometimes, you know. I don't know where I get this nigga word from, but one day, I think my dad had tried to come see me, so quote unquote, the one she thought was my dad. He had came and visited me, and mind you, he's Caucasian, like a country Caucasian. And I don't know if I wasn't used to him or what. I just didn't want to, like, I didn't want him to hug me or be around me, because of course, when you're young, you don't go to strangers. And I don't know if he had called her a nigger or something in front of me, but I had to hear it from somebody. And one day I had called my mom a nigger. And boy, that made her mad as hell. Like, I was young. I didn't know what it meant. You know, I called her that, and she had made me pack this suitcase. I put some peanut butter in the suitcase, some books that she had bought me, a teddy bear, and a couple outfits. And she put me outside. She said, you get the fuck on. You gonna call me a nigger. She left me outside for 2 days. 2 whole days. She said, if you gonna call me that, you're not gonna live with me. And she put my ass out, too. Of course, I didn't go nowhere. I slept outside on the grass. And the next day, she let me come in. I guess she figured, you know, family stay all around here. Ain't nobody gonna really get me. So that was my punishment. Crazy as hell. Me and my mom, we had some good times when I was younger, but we had some crazy ways of being chastised a little bit. I got a lot of whippings and stuff, but I think I deserved them. You know, things I did, or I don't know. My mom was just kind of crazy too, so some of the stuff I didn't deserve, maybe, but she didn't play it. She was real strict, you know. I think after a while, she just went to my granddaddy and was like, look, she bad as hell. I can't keep giving her whippings, because I can't keep beating her ass and whooping her like that, because I was yellow. So if I got a whipping with a switch or anything, you know, I have bruises. I have bruises all over my legs and shit, you know. And the only way to make the bruises go away, I remember she used to soak me in a tub all the time. She would just soak me in like warm water after I get a whooping, because I have so many bruises, like pink, purple, black, and blue. I bruise so easily. I don't know why. And it showed up so easily. But I don't know. Whatever she put in that soap, it took my bruises away within like a day. I didn't have the bruises no more. But I remember she went to my granddad, like, I can't keep whooping her. I guess he had told her, like, would start chastising her, making her hold books, getting in a corner, holding her leg up. And if she put her leg down, threaten to whip her or swat her leg, you know. So, and I started doing anything bad, she would just put me in a corner, make me hold one leg up. One leg was firmly planted on the ground. I had to hold that leg up. That she started feeling like that didn't really work chastising wise, so she would make me get in the corner and hold big magazines above my head and still hold one leg up. And she would tell me, you gonna stay in that corner like that for an hour, and if you let that fucking leg down, I'm gonna swat your leg, I'm gonna come there and beat your ass. I ain't want my legs to keep getting whooped with those switches, because that shit hurt. You know what I mean? So I would always hold those magazines up, or she'll make me hold cans of food in my hand and hold one leg up. And it was always hard, because I was trying to keep my balance and I drop my leg. And imagine doing that for an hour. Like, your fucking legs would be hurt, and of course you're gonna drop your legs, or you know, you're gonna want to put your legs down or put your hands down or something. You know, that shit, it takes a toll on you. You know what I mean? So I started trying to be good and stop, you know, not being so bad. You know what I mean? After that, I think she would just, like, after school, she'd let me go outside and play. And when I would go outside and play, like, one day, my cousin, you know, they always had chores to do. You know, they really couldn't play for real. They really, when they was outside, they was working. They was, like, sweeping driveways up or something, you know what I mean? So this particular day, when I was outside, my cousin, one of their jobs was to go up the hill and feed my cousin which is my stepdaughter's daughter, had a daughter. So basically that was our cousin, step cousin for me anyway, because they're not really my blood. And they would have to go feed her dog and put water in the dog water bowl. So one day, you know, my cousin, I was young, I didn't know no better. She was standing by this ant pile. She had to fill the dog bowl up. And, you know, to fill it up, you had to use the water hose outside. And where it was at, the water hose really wouldn't reach over there. So I had to walk over there with the bowl. And it was like, didn't really have that much length on it. So when I took the bowl over there, my cousin kept telling me to come closer, and I ended up stepping in the ant pile, and the ants was just biting my ass up. I mean, they was biting my ass up. Like, I ran to my mom, and just crying, and my mom never failed. She would just swat the ants all off me. She didn't care if they was biting her, because they was bound to bite her. There was red ants. They bite anything that's like, that smell like it's food, they gonna bite your ass. Like, and then if you like, you alarm them, they feel like it's dangerous, they gonna automatically bite and sting you too, because it was a red ant. So that sting from that red ant ain't no joke. Plus being big, so you always have like these red big ass bumps with pus filled in them from them biting you. It never failed. Like, it seemed like all the time I wanted to play, there was some ants getting on my ass. I just always remember being in the back door and she was just swatting ants off me. They would be biting my coochie and everything. Like, I don't know. So that was our life for that year, you know. Then, I forgot to tell you that one day though I stepped in that ant pile, my mom went to cuss my cousin out. Like, don't y'all be out here letting ants bite up my motherfucking baby. Like, she ain't bar none. Like, she was the type of mom that would cuss out anybody around. She didn't give a fuck if you was a little kid or grown up. She didn't give a fuck when it came to me. Like, she was gonna cuss your ass out. So deep down, she kind of, I think, was either learning how to love me or just trying her best at that period of time. And then I think it just became overwhelming. You know, she tried this new lifestyle that she didn't never know. Trying to go to work every day, dealing with their attitudes. Or, you know, the people she was working with weren't her sisters. It was my granny that was married in. So basically, these was basically ladies that like stepsisters to her. You know what I mean? So they ain't really like her. She ain't really like them. You know, they had attitudes and shit and be moody every day. Sometimes they would like make her do the work and they would sit around and shit like that. You know what I mean? So she's being pressured and then having to deal with my little bad ass. You know what I mean? Not making excuses, but every single day doing the same shit with this little girl, going to work every day, just trying to be strong as you can be, still trying to fight the addiction of drugs, because I'm pretty sure she went on drugs, going to work every day, dealing with me. It's probably something she missed. You know, the street life is all she knew for all those years. You know what I mean? So one day, that's the sad part for me, because one day, you know, I'm thinking, I was screaming her name, you know. I checked the house like usual, and I went outside like I always do, thinking she was out painting the houses or one of the mansions. You know, she wasn't nowhere to be found. I ran back in the house, and I was just still crying. I ended up crying myself to sleep because I was crying, screaming her name. Again, I would lose breath, and I was screaming her name, and she wasn't nowhere to be found. You know what I mean? So I was screaming her name like, Mama. One shit coming out, because I was screaming her name for so long I would lose my breath. I don't know why that was when I was younger. So I fell asleep in a corner. And during the day, like, I didn't eat. I stayed in that corner for like 2 days. I would go and use the bathroom and come back to that corner. I was just afraid. She wasn't around. I didn't know where she was at. And that second night, I had went to sleep in that corner again. And I don't know if some just told my granddaddy to come up there and check on us, because my mom hadn't been to work in 2 days. But he came up there and he seen me in the corner. He like, where your mom? And I said, I don't know. I don't know why, but I always loved my granddaddy. Like, he was like, so, he barely talked. But when he talked to you, it was stern. If you did something bad, he make you feel real bad. But other than that, he loved you so much. Like, he was always just, he was a quiet person though, but he was full of wisdom. And when he talked, like, you knew what was up, because he would make you feel low if you did something bad, and he would fill you with so much knowledge in one conversation when you needed advice or if you wanted to talk. But we could barely hang around him because he was a working man. He went to work all day, so when he came and got me, though, it was like, to me, it was like an angel that was sent to come rescue me. Like, I was just so happy. Like, I didn't want to be by myself, and I couldn't understand where she went, so I cried and cried so much. And now that meant she was gone. I had to go back and live with them, So, again, from house to house, you know what I mean? So, I ended up moving down there. By then, I had to be like 5.5, And now it was time to work and start being a slave. I got a taste of being what my cousins were, what they had to do every day. Since I was the youngest, I would have to, like, sweep up stuff here and there. My job was to take out the garbage every day, My job was to wash clothes and then go and, like, hang them upstairs in the attic on clotheslines. And my job also was, my granddaddy would go and work in cement and plaster all day. So he had these work boots. They were white. Just like regular work boots. Kind of like a low-cut Tim. They looked alike. When they went to work, they wore all white every day. All white shirts. All white khaki. The pants kind of looked like Dickies with the little pockets, but they were white, and then they would wear like a white boot or a shoe. My granddaddy had these boots. Well, this is a force, but I'm just trying to explain something to you. See the ridges? I would have to take, in his boot, I would have to take a butter knife and put newspaper down and clean his shoes every day. So I would have to take the butter knife and get all the cement and the plaster from in the ridges of his shoes every day. That was my job. So my job was to basically hang the clothes up every day, empty the garbage cans all over throughout the house, and it was a big mansion, so it was many garbage cans. Basically my job was to go to school every day, and when I came home, my job was to take out the garbage, clean his shoes, do the laundry, and sweep up the floors. And then when I got used to it, I had more chores. Before we went to school, we had to sweep up the floors, take out the trash. And then we had to come home and do it all over again. Take out the trash, do his shoes, sweep the floors up. I did that up until I was like, for 2 years, up to 6 and 7. Then things went downhill. Like, I got to see the real her. Like, she was crazy as fuck. Like, I'm saying, if you ain't never met somebody crazy, it was like the evil stepmother, and we was the stepkids, and we was all being treated badly. She ain't never hug us, say she love us. We was like slaves. We could never play outside. We didn't never eat no kind of junk food. When she fed us, it was like we didn't get enough to eat. We was still hungry. Like, it seemed like she just fed us so little, and she had all this food. You know what I mean? They lived in mansions, but they were real cheap. Like, my granny will be able to get the rings and the clothes, the Mercedes-Benz, whatever she wanted. But the kids, we ain't have much. We ain't never have nothing name brand. We always had to shop at thrift stores. When she didn't want to take us thrift store shopping, it was always hand-me-down. So I was wearing my cousin boy shoes. I was wearing, other kids could wear regular clothing to school. We always had to wear uniforms every day. We would swap wearing each other clothes and uniforms. We would always swap clothing, uniform wise. So we would go to school and be picked on because we had to wear uniforms every day when all the other kids was wearing regular clothes and name brand clothing. You know what I mean? It was so embarrassing for me to have to wear my little boy cousin's shoes. That was the most embarrassing because I'm a girl with Spider-Man shoes on. You know what I mean? Some blue and red Spider-Man shoes. When other kids in my school were wearing Forces and Timberlands and J's. You know what I mean? I'm wearing some Spider-Man shoes that was too big for me. and a uniform, which is a white shirt, and it never failed. We always wore white shirts with collars on it, and the uniform dresses with like the straps, you know, and then the dress will start right here, and the collar would be. It looked like a hot fucking mess, you know. Like, she got worse, you know. She was a Muslim. We didn't eat pork. She would make us sit down for hours on Sunday. I'm talking about hours. You know what I mean? And she would talk to us and make us listen to some kind of radio station like WNXK or something. And they'll be talking about Allah and shit like that. Shit we didn't understand. You know, we would have to go to mosque and wear those things over our heads. Those fucking scarves and shit. We could never show our hair. Just shit like that, you know. I mean, on Sundays we would hate it because we would sit down for so long. She'd talk us to death. I mean, hours and hours about shit that we didn't even understand. We had to sit there for hours. I mean, till our ass be hurt, and we be crying on the inside like, God, can we please get up? She talking to our ass to death about shit we didn't understand, preaching to us about this fucking Allah. You know, I mean to cuss because Allah is great. That's our God. But it's just a different, you know, a different name of it. But it's just the way that we had, you know, we was kind of forced into that religion. We didn't know nothing about it. We never ate pork. Being that she was a Muslim, we never had birthday parties. We didn't celebrate no kind of Christmases, no holidays, you know. So as kids, we missed out on a lot. Instead of us going outside playing or watching cartoons, my little boy cousin, though, he could always watch cartoons. He ain't ever had to clean up. We used to envy him. Like, damn, we cleaning up every fucking day. And your ass, you get to sit around and be cool, eat everything, eat real food. Like, we couldn't eat real food. We had to eat whatever she cooked. And we didn't get enough of it. So then my cousins, they started stealing from her ass. They started stealing kind of cans of food, sneaking it up to our room. We open up cans, eat beans out the can, Spam out the can, so we can get food. We was starving. She worked her so much, we burnt that little food off that we ate. We was hungry. Because as I got older, I got more chores. You know, I was always still having to clean up bathrooms and shit before we went to school, sweep the floors up, take the garbage out, and then come home and then do it all over again. Like, we was always cleaning. It's like it never failed. Cleaning every fucking day. And it's like, the older I got, the more I seen who she was. Like, I used to want to, like, damn near cry when my granddaddy would leave to go to work. Because she would call us all by our name. And it never failed. I was the baby, she would call my name. Bye, 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 bye. Like, for instance, I can't say real names, but she'd be like, Honesty, Araya, Anaya, and Baby. Y'all get down here right now. As soon as my granddaddy go to work, it never failed. She'll call us down there. Let us be looking mean or anything, she'll pinch us real hard. Real hard. I mean, to our skin be damn near falling off our body. Like, I mean, pinch us so fucking hard. Like, she would pinch us. Just pinch us. As soon as he would leave, she would call us all by our name. We'll come downstairs. Y'all clean this up today. This is what the fuck y'all gotta do today. I don't want to hear. It's like she would always wait till he leave to just be so mean to us. And it was every day. It never failed. Like, as soon as he would go to work, it was her time. It was her time to be the devil to us. She knew that that's when she could beat our ass. He couldn't help us or save us or nothing. And we really couldn't talk to him because he wasn't ever around. Many times I just wanted to run to him like, Granddaddy, she beating our ass. Why you let her beat on us like this every day? Help me. Save me. As soon as you go to work, we got to clean up like slaves. She beating on us all the time. She pinching us and shit. Please. Like, why you not? And it seemed like he just didn't ever know nothing about it. Like, he could never save us. I didn't ever understand that. It's like, to me, it's like he the only one that could save us, but he didn't never know what was going on to save us. And if we was to probably tell, she'll probably fuck us up when he leave to go to work the next day. So we never will really tell on her. Just thinking about that made me want to cry. Like, how could you do us like that? You know what I mean? If you ain't want to take us in, don't take us in. But don't mistreat us because you had to take us in. You know, like, she would, and it was a mansion, and it just seemed like it was always something to clean up. It never felt like, no matter what, it was something to do. You know, and then she made more work on us, because eventually she had planted this garden in the backyard. So if we went in a house cleaning up, we had to go outside and pull weeds all fucking day, or pull a cutting zoo off the fences. And the cutting zoo always grew back so quickly, and the weeds did too. So we was always feeding bushes and cleaning up, and she would watch us while we cleaning up. If we like miss one spot on a dish, she'd make us wash all the dishes again. She'd come over there and pinch us like, that ain't how you fucking do it. Or she'd knock us upside the head like, that ain't how you fucking clean that sink. Clean that shit again. Or she'll like, if we miss a spot in the refrigerator, she'll make us wash the whole refrigerator over. Like, it'd be dishes on shelves, like big ass shelves of dishes. Like, she see one dust spot, she'll make us wash all the dishes on the shelves again, wash the shelves down. Like, she would just make us clean, like, all day. And beat us, like, it got so bad to the point where she just would start picking up anything, throwing it at us to beat our ass with it. Just picking up any random object to hit our ass with it. Like, man, she was something. And then it's like, when she would catch us, I was the baby, so I didn't really steal then because I didn't know how to. But my other cousins, they were like going steal food off the shelves and shit, because my granny always kept these shelves full of canned goods. And in the kitchen, it was a way to go downstairs on one side and a way to come upstairs on the other side, or go downstairs. So it was basically like 2 stairwells to the kitchen. So the front part, she could see us if we went down there. So at night, they would come down the stairs from upstairs and go down that back stairway, and because the shelves was kind of right there where the back stairway was, and they would steal food from the shelves and take it upstairs. We'll eat it, and we'll throw the cans in a garbage bag and put it in the closet, or we'll throw it in the bathroom, because in our bathroom where the tub was, up underneath it was a slot. They would throw canned goods in there and hide our evidence. One day she caught the evidence, and she had took us all in the attic where the clothes be at. And it's a whole bunch of other shit. She was like a hoarder. It was just like shit every fucking where. It was like shit in there. She took us in the attic. And she took this extension cord. It was like this orange one. It was a big one too. I mean, like those thick orange ones. You know, those kinds that, not regular, like those little small brown extension cords. It was a big, thick orange ones. Man, she beat our ass that day, like, randomly just took turns for hours just beating our ass with extension cords, to where it was like whelps in our back and bleeding and shit. She just beat us until somebody told who did it. And wasn't nobody telling nobody, so we'll be getting our ass beat for hours. Our body be so sore. The next day we'll still have to get up and clean up and work like a slave and shit. Like, every day we had to clean up. Like, clean up. We never could play, watch TV, sit down and take a break. Like, it was like a non-stop cleaning. You know what I mean? Like, it got to the point where, you know, in order for us to take a break from working,